The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today's date is September the 18th, 2025, and the time is 8:49. My name is Carolyn Stapleton. I'll be serving as the chairman on today's panel. My colleagues on the panel today are Chuck Tillis and Jerry Ledoux. The panel today is at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. With the staff here at headquarters, please introduce yourselves for the record.
Jason Thompson.
Swell. Okay, today our remote location is at Franklin Parish Detention Center. With the staff at the facility, please introduce yourself for the record. Today, our remote location is at the Franklin Parish Detention Center. With the staff at the facility, please introduce yourself for the record.
So y'all, you want the staff to she wants the staff to introduce themselves.
They want staff. You want staff?
Yes.
All right, Lieutenant Roberts, Franklin Parish Detention Center.
Okay. All right. All right. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Swayzer. State your name and DOC number for the record.
Sure.
Jerry Jermaine Swayzer, DOC number 494646.
Okay, thank you very much. Today you are here for a parole revocation hearing. Do you have the questionnaire that you signed?
Yes, ma'am.
Do? Okay, according to this questionnaire, you are not eligible for appointed counsel. Did you have your own attorney?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. All right, so we're going to go ahead with the revocation hearing. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Rule number 1 is that, rule violation number 4, you engaged in criminal conduct evidenced by your arrest on 5/2/2025 for the offense of simple criminal damage to property, driving while intoxicated, first offense, no insurance, driving under suspension, and reckless operation of a vehicle. You can plead guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Which do you plead?
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Okay. I'm going to be handling your case today. So you and I are going to be talking about this. All right. So you're pleading not guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
I have, can you explain to me what happened that you got all of these charges?
See, I just I dropped my girl off from at work and I pulled up to my mama house, which is the house I hit the pole in. I really forgot to put the car in park because it's a new car. My girl just got the car that like 2 days of that day. And I forgot to put the car in park and it hit a pole. I paid for the pole in it was in my mama yard. I paid for it and I paid for the car to get fixed. I wasn't drunk. They dropped the DWI because I wasn't drunk. I just got some new medicine from the doctor. Dr. Abraham, he just gave me some new medicine and it was stronger than my old medicine. So that's all it was. I wasn't drunk or none of that. On no drugs or nothing.
Well, that's drugs and medicine if it impaired your driving. So
No.
You went to court, right?
Yes,
I've got
ma'am.
that you went to court. I've got also that you were convicted of the simple criminal damage to property, reckless operation, driving under suspension, no vehicle insurance, and then also a failure to appear. So that's what I have that you were convicted under, and it's true, they don't mention the DWI.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were convicted of those.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, you said it was a new car
Yes, sir.
and you didn't have insurance on a new car?
No, I had insurance on it, but it just, I don't know why it didn't swap over. See, she traded her black Chevy Sonic in for a new GMC Terrain. And when she left the dealership, it was brand new. When she left the dealership at Sango in Winsboro on Highway 15, they told her the insurance should be switched over. And it never switched over. It was 2 days later and it never switched over. But when she did switch it over, I got her to take it to the courthouse to show them that she had insurance. They said, never mind.
You have proof of insurance of that date when you
When I
accidentally.
hit,
Oh,
yes, sir.
okay. So that's what they're saying, reckless driving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long have you been out on parole?
I got out on parole March the 10th. I had a job and everything. I was really doing good for myself.
Mhm. And you didn't have any, well, you say you didn't have any alcohol. You weren't drinking.
No, sir.
So it was just an accident, what you're saying. You put the car in the park.
Yes, sir. That's all it was, accident.
And you can show proof of insurance that day that you had insurance on the car.
No, sir. Not the day that they towed the car and stuff, and the day I came to jail, I couldn't I didn't the insurance that they was showing and they pulled up on the phone that it had, it was still on the Sonic. But when they went on and changed it right, I took it to the my girl took it to the city police station and they showed it that it had insurance on it. So I told them to take it to the judge, but they were like, never mind.
So what I'm saying is you had insurance the day you had the car. Normally they won't sell you a car unless you have insurance on it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you had insurance that day. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I have questions.
Do you have any questions? No. I do have a question though. You were convicted, so you went to court, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it took a while to get to court for these charges, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I've been in jail since May the 27th on these charges.
So when you got to court, they looked at your insurance coverage by that time. All that should have been straightened out. And if it was actually covered that day, when you went to court, your insurance coverage should have been apparent then, but yet they still found you guilty of no insurance.
Yes, ma'am. They my girl took it up there to the clerk of court. She took it like 2 times actually, because I went to court in July, then I went to court in August. That's when they got rid of it. When in August they got the charges. That's when they found me guilty of it. I showed her the insurance and everything.
I'd like to have an executive session.
Okay, we're gonna call for an executive session at this time.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Ledoux. Yeah. Tillis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody have anything else they'd like to say? Back in session.
No, I have no questions.
Pardon? Um, we're reconvening from executive session and the time is 9.
I don't have any questions.
No, I don't have any
I don't have any
questions.
questions.
Okay, we're prepared to vote at this time. All right, since it's my case, I'll vote first. Mr. Swayzer, I do see where they did drop the driving while intoxicated, but they did leave the, driving under suspension. And when you look at the arrest report, there's some problems with that. You may not have been, drunk by alcohol, but it seems as though you were impaired by the medication. So that's driving under the influence. And there's some indications with that. Also, you had criminal damage to property. And reckless operation of a vehicle. So I'm going to vote to revoke you at this time based upon those charges. Okay, Mr. Tillis.
Mr. Jerry, I'm gonna vote to give you a shot. My vote is not to revoke.
Mr. Swayzer, my vote is going to be to revoke. You're a 7th felony offender. You've been down this road. You know the standards for parole. And I think we have some evidence that you have violated those conditions. So my vote is to deny. I mean to revoke.
Okay, that concludes this hearing.
I mean, we're going to conclude for the rest of the.
And we're going to conclude for the rest of the day, and the time that we're signing off is 9:02.
unmute. Within the state board.
Good morning. At this time, we're at, Allen Correctional Center. With the panel, with the, staff, please introduce yourself for the record.
Crystal Simon, Assistant Warden. Yes, Committee of Classifications.
Okay, panel today at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge is Mr. Chuck Tillis and Ms. Jerry Ledoux and myself, Carolyn Stapleton. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Haynes, starting with name and DOC number for the record.
My name is Tonka Haynes, 338440.
I'm going to read some information to you for the record. Okay, Tonka Haynes. Can you give the date of birth? Okay, you are a third-class offender. You are sentenced to 40 years. And it's for habitual, attempted second-degree murder. Your parole eligibility date is 10/18/2021. Your good time date is 4/13/2036. Your full-time date is 3/9/2037. All right, we will conduct a parole interview now, and your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, who will take the lead.
First of all, I would like to ask, Mr. Haynes, would you explain why you're currently incarcerated? And why do you think at this time we should consider early release? I know that this is a rehear. You have been heard once before.
I'm incarcerated for attempt second-degree murder. I confronted a dude about some drugs. I had no intentions of shooting him, but a tuggle transpired and both of us were shot with this at the same time with the same bullet. And the reason I feel like I should be granted parole is for the conscious decision I've made to transition from a destructive way of living, but most importantly, for being remorseful for the pain and suffering I caused the victim as well as the victim family. Since I've been incarcerated, I utilized the programs to help better myself and further my growth and rehabilitation.
Warden Simon, would you like to make any statements about Mr. Haynes that we need to know?
The only thing I can, like I told Mr. Haynes earlier this week, that his record does speak for itself. Like I explained to most inmates, I don't have to say much if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, your record would show for itself. And he has taken many programs, his conduct is very minimal and hasn't had any trouble here at Allen.
When did he arrive at Allen?
He's been here since 2023, December 11th.
Prior to that, Mr. Haynes, you had 62 write-ups, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I think that we should hear from your brother who would like to speak on your behalf, Mr. Bernard Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
Okay, thank you very much. I, as well as my mom, first of all, we would like to let you know how much we appreciate you taking the time out to even considering my brother to be paroled. He's been in there for quite some time. We both feel like he's paid his debt to society, and we would like nothing better for him to come home. I know that you three are in a tough spot because it's tough looking at a record, just looking at paperwork, not knowing the person, and then making the decision. We appreciate your position as well. And we will, we'll continue to pray that you make right choices and right decisions. Whatever you decide, we will continue to live for. Want to say anything, Mom?
God bless you all.
Thank
you. Mr. Myers, Mr. Kerry Myers.
Good morning, Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project here for Tonka Haynes. In 2022, Tonka had a parole hearing in which he was denied. In 2022, Parole Project would not have accepted him as a client into our program. We were aware of Tonka, and we believed at that time he needed a lot more work. And I can tell you that people have two things that can happen when they get denied. They can spiral, or they can take that as a personal challenge. He has not had a disciplinary infraction since 2021. Since his hearing, he has taken Celebrate Recovery, Thinking for a Change, IC3, anger management, living in balance, victim impact. He has worked extremely hard. He is now, and he's impressed us by the simple fact that we can see clearly that the light has come on, and Tonka has matured. He served right at 75% of his sentence. This is an opportunity for the board to grant him parole with any conditions they might feel appropriate and have him under that supervision. We believe Tonka has turned the corner. We believe the light has come on, and that's why we're here today. He's done the hard work over the last 4 years, and we're prepared to help him through his transition. When he comes to Parole Project, should the board grant him today, he will be assigned a case manager, where that case manager will act as his coach and work with him as he goes through not only the classes, but one-on-one as he goes through the decision-making processes that he has through transition after being incarcerated for right at 30 years. We absolutely know that the needs of people who have been incarcerated for that long. So we would just ask that this board consider the significant work that he's done since his hearing in 2022, and actually since 2021. And we believe that Tonka has absolutely become the man he was supposed to be. So we'd ask this board to grant him parole today.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Okay, at this time, I would like to we did speak to Ms. McLaurin. Randall Myers, the ADA with Jefferson Parish.
Good morning, Randall Myers, Assistant DA, Jefferson Parish. We're opposed at this time based on two things. One, the nature of the offense, but the biggest issue is back in 2022, he was denied. Each of the board members said an issue that they had was his conduct report, too many disciplinary reports. He's had 62. Since that time, in March of 2023, he had a contraband report. That's after the last hearing when he was told he was being denied because of his conduct and too many disciplinary reports. So he continues to have disciplinary reports. He had another in April 24, but he was found not guilty. So that one would not affect this in my position. But, he's continuing to have disciplinary reports, and that's an issue. He needs to remain disciplinary free, and then he could have an opportunity to be released on parole. So because of that, we are opposed to his release.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Myers. Okay, the board member, Ms. Ledoux has a question, please.
Ms. Simon, Warden Simon, could you respond to the disciplinary again?
He had a disciplinary, his last disciplinary I'm showing, Ms. Ledoux, is he appealed it and it was granted. So I don't have the details of it. And that wasn't here, that was at David Wade Correctional Center, and that was the one in 2023. But it was removed from his record.
So it doesn't appear that it was held against him for his record?
No, ma'am, he was, I'm showing his official last write-up was in 2021.
Mr. Haynes, what is your job assignment there at the facility?
I'm an in-house laundry.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that?
Probably a little over 8 months.
What did you do before the laundry?
I was in school, so I was in school all day, so I wasn't able to work.
Yeah.
So,
Did you received your GED in 2023?
yes, ma'am. At David Wade.
Okay. So let me get this straight. You've had thinking for a change, living in balance,
Yes,
anger
ma'am.
management, victim awareness.
Yes, ma'am.
Which one did you learn the most from?
It's a combination because I took Boys to Men too, and that's the most had a profound effect on me because it deals with 2 cycles that I have been having problems with, and it's generational curse and recidivism. So I utilize that to identify my problem to keep me from coming back and further participating in the act of crimes.
Okay, so you can understand I might be hesitant if you're going straight home. I would be hesitant because you're going back into the same environment where you were when you were involved in these issues. So tell me, what are the triggers for recidivism? What are the triggers?
Well, my chances, I no longer contact with those who I was indulging with, living that life of crime. I was young at that time. I no longer have the dealings with them. And my chance of being a recidivism is 0 to none. I'm not coming back to prison.
What kind of employment are you going to seek?
I got option depending on the parole officer. Either I'm gonna work construction or I'll be able to go offshore if they allow me to. But at the same time, I'll be taking my I'm looking, I got it set up where I could take CDLs and forklifting. And I explained to you about that write-up he was speaking on. That was some contraband found in another person house, and it wasn't my possession. So I filed an appeal, and they expunged it because they found out it wasn't mine. So they took it off. That's why I've been taking off my off my jacket.
Why did you start behaving?
I got tired of bumping my head thinking I'm gonna get a different result. And when you know better, you do better. So at first I come from a mind frame where I had a life sentence. So I'm feeling like, what's the use of getting educated if I ain't never going home? But I began hope, went to doing better. Thank you for a change, changed all that. Because it made me feel like my thoughts is what dictates my actions. So if I view things in a negative light, I'm gonna do negative things. So I utilize that as a stepping stone to make better decisions, and the support of my family that kept me from out of trouble, because I wasn't able to see my mom at visit, and I couldn't keep contact with my people because I'm always getting locked up. So it was time for me to make a change, because I'm not only affecting me, I'm affecting my family.
You have some very thoughtful things to say. I would defer questions to my colleague.
Yeah, Mr. Haynes, how long have you been incarcerated?
29 years, sir.
It seems like you made a turnaround, and that's good. That's good. So you're saying some things that I like. So what are your plans if you're released?
Well, once I leave here, I'm going with the parole project, and they're gonna help me along transition. But I got employment waiting on me once I get out there. I'm going living with my sister, and I'm gonna constantly work to keep myself motivated and maintain contact with my family, enjoy my freedom.
And
I
you
no
don't,
longer have desire to violate no type of way.
you don't want to go back?
I don't want to go back to prison? No.
Okay. I have no more questions.
I'd like to, so Mr. Haynes, you're a third-class offender. So were you revoked previously?
I had previous drug charge, and I was violated, and I went down my 2 years, but I caught the follow-up charge, and that's what sentenced me to life.
So, I hear a lot of times people are saying, well, I didn't know I couldn't do that. You understand clearly what the requirements will be for you to be on parole if you were granted. Do you understand the requirement?
Well, I know for sure it's not getting them handcuffs put back on. But I'm willing to take urine samples or whatever the parole thing. I'm gonna meet the requirements, whatever it is. Because my freedom is more important than coming back to prison.
No further question.
I've got a question. Mr. Myers at the Parole Project, he's talking about going back to where his sister lives. Don't y'all have housing where y'all can keep a closer watch on somebody, or do y'all have somebody in that area? Because, he's gonna be released to under y'all's care.
Yes, ma'am. He would be with us because he has a residence plan and working with him prior to this hearing. He would be with us through phase 1 of the program. That is the current plan. But we will do whatever the board requires of him.
How long does phase 1 last?
About 5 weeks.
Oh, shoot. And he's gonna be working during that time or after he leaves?
He'll be in classes through that whole 5 weeks.
And then after that time, he would go to his sister's house?
He would go to his approved residence. Yes, ma'am.
And then y'all are out of it at that point?
No, ma'am. We continue to case manage. We will work with him. We will continue to follow up with him. We have a case manager that lives in the New Orleans area and follows up all our clients on a regular basis to assist them should they have any issues through any of the transitional processes. We continue to case manage out for a minimum of 1 year.
Okay, that's your minimum. Okay. Well, that was my question. Does anyone else have any questions?
I don't know.
So do. All right. Well, at this point, I think the panel is ready to vote, and we're going to begin with Ms. Ledoux, who was assigned the case. Oh, wait, I forgot to ask you, do you have anything further you would like to say, sir? Is there anything more you would like to add for us to know?
Yes, I appreciate this opportunity to come before the board. And I'm letting y'all know I'm fully committed to being a productive citizen in and out of my community. I'm no longer gonna be involved in nothing illegal. And I'm gonna further my rehabilitation out there as well as when I get to my house.
Okay.
So, I've made note of, the things that are positive and the things that concerned me. And, you have positioned yourself favorably, for consideration of parole, and I will be voting to grant parole based on the hard work you've done since your last hearing, with a good plan for reentry. I would say that the parole project would need to have the caseworker after you're released from phase one. The caseworker in that area needs to touch base with you at least once a month, preferably twice a month, so that the parole project is maintaining some impact there. And that is my vote today.
Okay, Mr. Kellis?
My vote also is to grant release to the Louisiana Parole Project.
And my vote today is to concur with Ms. Ledoux for the same reasons that she stated. Should be noted, though, that you do have law enforcement opposition with the DA, the AG, and the Sheriff's Office. So they were all opposed to your parole. But I am impressed with the classes that you've taken in this period of time, which shows that you really do want to improve. You really do want to have a life. So as of today, our vote is to grant your parole.
Appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all.
And that concludes our business at Allen Correctional Facility.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good morning. Today, our remote location is at the housing facility of LaFouche Parish Detention Center. With the staff at the facility, please introduce yourself with the record.
And you're on mute.
Can y'all hear us now?
Yes, ma'am. Will you introduce yourself for the record, please?
Deputy Marcel.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. And I'm going to introduce the panel today. Mr. Tillis is on my left, Ms. Ledoux is on my right, and my name is Ms. Stapleton. So at this time, would you please introduce yourself, Mr. Lewis, and with your DOC number?
KENTRELL LEWIS, 413-900.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I wanted to ask you, did you get a questionnaire about today's revocation hearing? That you answered questions yes or no and signed?
Yes, ma'am.
Got that? Okay. According to that questionnaire, you are ineligible for appointed counsel. You do understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you appoint an attorney for yourself?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. I'll be handling your case today, so I'm going to read your rule violations. Number 2, you failed to report to the office as instructed. Not rule violation 3, you failed to report to your current physical address. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Number 2, you failed to report to the office as instructed. How do you plead, sir?
Guilty.
Okay. Now, any of this you can do guilty with a statement. So,
well, I would like to do guilty with a statement on that one, ma'am.
all right. All right, I'll put it down. You failed to report to your current physical address. Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Can you repeat that again?
Yes. You failed to report your current physical address. Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay. Number 4, you were arrested on the following: Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office on 4/21/2025 for the charge of bank fraud felony, which was a felony, theft under $1,000, which was a misdemeanor, and failure to register and notify as a sex offender, and also in LaFouche Parish for failure to register and notify as a sex offender on 5/28/24. Pending matters have pretrial on 10/23/25 LaFouche and 10/13/25 trial in Terrebonne. So how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
I'll do guilty with a statement.
Okay. Number 8, you failed to report to sex offender class as instructed and required. Guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement?
Guilty.
Okay. You failed to report, number 9, you failed to report and register your current address or employment. Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay. Number 10, you are currently $1,449 in arrears on your supervision fees. Guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay. Okay, so at this time, go ahead and give me your statement for number 2. You failed to report to the office as instructed. What is
throughout my time that I was on the streets and keeping my parole officer, I went to the office just about every time, man. When I didn't show, I always made phone contact with him. I always kept in touch by phone. So I mean, let him know all my whereabouts and what was going on with me.
Okay. And you failed to report to your current physical address.
And that's another thing. My address was always the same, and I stayed at that address. I had a little complication going on for a while, and I contacted my parole officer and I told him my situation. And my address has always been the same, man. I always was there. Now he probably showed up at my house like once or maybe, and I wasn't at the time because I was working in Terrebonne Parish, and I'm staying in LaFouche. I didn't have no vehicle at the time, so I couldn't get back and forth on time to make my home appearance when he's been showed up between the office hours.
Okay, now, all right. So you weren't at home at that address at different times, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. But I always remained there.
Where would you have been? Were you working?
I was working. Yes, ma'am. I was working in Terrebonne Parish, and I didn't have no vehicle.
So, and you had no vehicle?
No, ma'am.
So were you coming back and forth every day?
Just about. Sometimes it'll be late.
Okay, so there's no way for him to find you at home then, correct?
Right. And like I said, ma'am, I always contacted him by phone. I always try to call him and tell him, hey, Mr. Mathern, this was going on, this was going on.
I'm writing that down. All right, and number 4, you were arrested in the following: Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office 42125 for the charge of bank fraud, which was a felony, theft under $1,000, which is a misdemeanor, failure to register and notify as a sex offender, and also in LaFouche Parish for failure to register and notify as a sex offender on 5/28/24. Pending matters have pretrial on 10/23/25, LaFouche, and 10/13/25, trial in Terrebonne. What's your statement on that?
With this failure to register as a sex offender, I wasn't at first sure how they came about, but on September 8, 2023, LaFouche finally found the paperwork that I did report to the office and registered, which my registration on into a year. It's a year, it's annual. So they found that, and then somehow by me working in Terrebonne Parish, I was supposed to tell them, notify them, but I wasn't aware of that. All the years I've been, you know, in compliance with it, I never knew I was supposed to contact the parish that I was working in as well. So all that came about, but when I go to court, I talk to my lawyer, man, my lawyer got it situated. When I go back to court, all that matter gonna get dismissed. And the bank fraud, somebody wrote me a check while I was start working for the check. I deposited check into my bank account, withdrew the money. Somehow the checks came back unreturned, or they say unreturned, and they had me in the real, and we're gonna get that matter taken care as well.
So you're saying that when you go to trial, you'll be able to straighten all this out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
State that again. I didn't understand what you're saying.
Yeah, can you restate what you just said to us slower?
The check, yeah.
About the check, you got a check.
Yes, I had got a check from through employer, and I deposited into my bank account. When I withdrew the money, times later, they say the bank contacted me and said the checks came back unreturned. And now they finally figured out the situation. But like I said, when I go to court, I will have the matter taken care of.
Okay, so was the person that wrote you that check with insufficient funds, were they charged with anything?
They paid the bank as well.
So they did,
ma'am?
So they did pay the money?
Yes, ma'am. The money has been cleared. So when I get in court, the charge will be taken care of.
Okay, you failed to report to sex offender class as instructed and required under violation number 8. You said you're guilty of that. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I did miss one class.
Okay. And then violation 9, you failed to report and register your current address and employment.
Right. Because I wasn't aware. I didn't know that that was a requirement. I never was told that at that time. Out of all the years I've been on parole, I never really knew once I work in another parish that I had to notify this parish of that.
Okay, on 5/22 of 2024, Herman Mathern states, I also informed the person that you were with that the offender needs to register at his place of residence, work, and school. Okay, so, and then previously you were told that you have to go register in Terrebonne. I have his notes. From every time he goes and talks with you, they write up notes, and I'm reading. Right. So you were told that you had to register. Okay.
Right. Yeah, at the last minute, ma'am. And when I found that out, if the notes in there, Terrebonne do have a record of me calling them and notifying them after I was notified. But like when I first was released, I never knew nothing about it till late in May. At that time I had been home like a few months, and I've been working in the middle of it. Then he hit me, and I did notify. But at first, I didn't have no knowledge of that.
Okay, number 10, you are currently $1,449 in arrears on your supervision fees.
Right. Well, Mr. Mathern told me as long as I would go to the classes and pay for the classes, that he wasn't worrying about the parole supervision fees. That was his words.
Okay, I'm going to request that we go into executive session.
A second.
Stapleton,
Here.
Tillis,
Yeah.
Ledoux.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Lewis,
Ma'am.
okay. We've reconvened from executive session and discussed matters concerning this case. My vote today is to revoke you because actually on every single thing, you're guilty. If some of the things are going to trial, you say that it'll be explained at trial, but you're guilty of it. So based upon rule violation 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10, I'm gonna revoke your, parole.
I thought that no decision on Mr. Turner, Mr. Mathern, and other agents had been under the impression that.
Voting right now, so Ms. Ledoux.
So, based on the evidence of you and your guilty plea, I find you have violated the conditions of your parole. My vote is to revoke.
Mr. Chillis.
My vote also is to revoke, for violations 8, 9.
Okay, Mr. Lewis, today your parole has been revoked. That's been the decision of the board. Good morning. Today, our remote location is at LaFouche Parish Detention Center. With the staff at the facility, please introduce yourself for the record. Is there anyone in there with you, sir? Oh, you're on mute.
I apologize.
Okay, ma'am, will you introduce yourself again?
I am Deputy Jennifer Exnicious.
Okay, and, sir, Mr. Shelvin, will you introduce yourself with your name and your DOC number for the record, please?
Call Dwayne Shelvin, 616-813.
Okay, and today on the panel, you will have Mr. Tillis, that's on my left, and Ms. Ledoux, that's on my right, and my name is, Ms. Staples. Okay, so we're gonna, begin the process of your, parole hearing. Parole revocation. Okay. I want to know, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire? Where it asks you some questions and you signed it at the bottom with the date?
No.
You have that? Okay, based upon the questionnaire that I'm looking at, you're ineligible for appointed counsel. Did you hire an attorney for yourself?
No.
Okay. All right, just needed to know that. Okay, so today, you are in violation of rule number 4. It states you violated this condition of parole by allegedly committing the offense of second-degree murder. This new felony activity resulted in your arrest in LaFouche Parish on or about 1/12/2023. A jury trial is set for 9/22/25. Do you plead guilty or not guilty with a statement with that?
Not guilty. I had nothing to do with none of this. Just any innocent.
Guilty with a statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, tell me what happened that you got involved with this.
I was never involved with it.
How'd you get arrested for it?
I still don't know. They're saying people think, guess, and assume that I was supposed to be there or something, but I wasn't.
Mm-hmm. And it's gonna go to trial. It says,
Yes, ma'am. We'll go to trial in, I think, in 2 days.
yeah, Agent Collin provided a true bill of indictment in charge of second-degree murder filed in Terrebonne Parish. The offender was indicted by a grand jury, January of 2023. Probable cause was found for the offender violated the conditions of parole based upon that information. Does either of my colleagues have any questions?
Yeah, I could, good morning. How are you this morning?
Good morning, sir.
Tell me what happened, or tell me what it is they're alleging. So you said you're not guilty, so they're saying you were somewhere at a certain time and you're saying you weren't. Tell me what happened.
All right. They're trying to say I was at a barber shop at the time. Like, supposed to be getting my hair cut or whatever, but I wasn't there at the time, but they're trying to say I was there. So they trying to, you got a couple of people, they're not actually saying that I did nothing. They just trying to say that they think that I did something. Like that's what this whole thing is. Like this whole situation is evolving around one of my cousins, and that's why I'm trying to figure out. I don't even know why I'm still sitting here. Like I don't know.
Someone was killed?
Yeah, it's one of my cousins.
Okay, your cousin was killed and they're trying to say that you did it.
Like they just trying to say that I was supposed to be there at the time all this happened. Like I'm supposed to know something about it or something like that.
Okay, so when you say they, you're referring to the police?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Like
see.
you got other people like people who they're considered as witnesses. They're not saying that I done anything. They just saying that I was supposed to be somewhere around them, but I wasn't.
I
Like
see.
they said they going off of somebody's car that doesn't belong to me.
And you say you go to trial in 2 days?
Yes, sir.
Well, this will be all solved. I have no more questions.
Ms. Legere? Okay, well, I'm prepared to vote at this time. Are my colleagues prepared to vote? Mr. Shelvin, based upon the grand jury's findings, I'm gonna find you in violation of your parole and rule number 4 as indicated. Ledoux?
I concur, that's my vote as well, to revoke based on, preponderance of evidence of violation.
Mr. Ellis?
In light of he's going to be in court in 2 days, I'm going to concur with my colleagues to deny.
Okay. Today you have been found that you are in violation and your parole is revoked. And that concludes our hearing. And we'll be leaving this facility at 10:15. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
With the staff at IBERIA Parish Jail, please introduce yourself, please, for the record.
Deputy Brittany Moore.
Okay. And please introduce yourself, Mr. Antoine, for the record, with your DOC number.
My name is TYSON ANTOINE, DOC number 563963.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna read some information into the record and we'll ask you to verify it. And then you can say guilty or not guilty with a statement, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I did want to ask you, do you have your questionnaire? It's a checklist and you signed it at the bottom. Do you have that?
No, ma'am.
Can somebody show him that questionnaire, please? Because we have it.
I must have. Shouldn't have that. That deal.
Can you see it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
I see some. Okay. Do you understand the questionnaire, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you request counsel? Did you request counsel for yourself? Because according to the questionnaire, you're not eligible for appointed counsel.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
morning. Good morning. My name is Harry Daniels.
Oh, I see.
I'm counsel for Mr. Antoine. I represent Mr. Antoine in the underlying offenses that relate to the revocation.
Thank you, Mr. Daniels. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't notice your name. Okay, so that takes care of that. So, all right, well, I'm going to read the following violations to you. Is that right? Oh, Mr. Tillis, do you have the violations? You can read them.
Sure. Good morning, Mr. Tyson. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
We have quite a few violations, so what I'll do is just read one and let you plead guilty, not guilty, or with a statement. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have rule number 4. You fail to refrain from criminal activities by being in possession of assaulting someone with a firearm on 12/19/2023. Subsequently, a warrant was issued for your arrest on 12/20/2023. And you were charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, possession.
A background noise there.
And possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The charges are pending under docket number 24-530. A pretrial conference, 9/3/2025. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with a statement?
Not guilty, yeah.
Not guilty? Okay. Number 4, on 6/12/2024, you again failed to refrain from criminal activities by battery on a person and possession of a firearm. Subsequently, you were arrested by the IBERIA Parish Sheriff's Office and charged with simple battery and felony possession of a firearm. The charges are pending under docket number 24-4429. A trial conference 9/3/2024. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Number 4, you failed to refrain from use of illegal drugs. You tested positive for THC and amphetamines, methamphetamines, and cocaine on 6/12/2024 when you were booked into the IBERIA Parish Jail, the following arrests for the above charges. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Number 5, you failed to refrain from owning or possessing firearms on 12/19/2023, as evident by a warrant charging you with aggravated assault with a firearm and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Number 5, you again fail to refrain from owning or possessing a firearm when you were arrested on 6/12/2024 and charged with a felon in possession of a firearm. All these charges are pending. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Number 10, you fail to make a monthly supervisional fee of payment and are in the area of $1,143 with the last payment received on 6/13/24. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Okay, does the attorney want to say anything or?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think for the purpose of the 6/12 case, I believe that's docket number, let me get that docket number. That's docket number, the docket number 2024-529. He was only charged with, although the initial arrest was for a felony possession of a firearm, the only charge that's currently pending is a simple battery for the June 12th, 2024 offense. So I think there's allegations that there was a firearm, but he only has been formally charged by the district attorney's office with a simple battery for the June 12th, 2024.
Okay, and the felon in possession of a firearm, that's been dropped by the DA's office? In that particular case?
Yes, ma'am, in that particular case, in that document.
Okay, and that was the 6/12/2024.
Yes, ma'am.
12/23.
Yeah, what about, let's start up with, yeah. Well, 12/19/2023 and 12/20, assaulting someone with a firearm. What about that? And there again, aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
Those charges are currently pending. There's a trial date of September 29th, 2025 for that.
December 29th?
September 29th.
That was September 29th. Okay.
He pled not guilty to all charges.
Yeah, he did. He pled not guilty to everything. What about number 4, where it was talking about that he tested positive for amphetamines, methamphetamines, cocaine on 6/12/24 and was booked into the parish prison for illegal drugs? What about that one?
I believe Mr. Antoine is, there's no formal charges for that. I think that was at the time of booking. I think Mr. Antoine just indicated he pled not guilty to that. I'm not sure what kind of test that was to even challenge it or make a comment on it. I'm not sure if that was just a presumptive positive test or was that a formal drug test or hair sample test that was sent to be tested.
Okay, and then we're going to go to number 5. That he failed to refrain from owning or possession of a firearm in 12/19/2023, as evident by the warrant charging him with aggravated assault of a firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. What about that one?
Mr. Antoine has pled, and I'll get through that. That case also has a trial date of September 29th, 2025. I believe that's docket number, let me make sure this is the correct docket number. That is docket number Give me 1 second. My computer's running a little slow. That is docket number 2024-0530.
Is that what you got? 0530? Okay. All right, so let me turn to the next page. And you again failed to refrain from owning and possession of firearm when you were arrested on 6/12/2024 and charged with felony and possession of a firearm. All of these charges, it says, are pending. Is that going to trial?
No, that's incorrect. So the that's what I spoke about earlier. So that June 12th, 2024 arrest date is related to docket number 2024-529. That is the same docket number that he's only been charged with simple battery for the June 12th, 2024 case.
All right, so that's been dropped, the firearms in that case?
Yes, ma'am. There's no firearm charge pending in that case.
Okay.
So it's simple battery or just, you said simple battery?
Yeah, simple
Yes, sir.
battery.
Simple battery.
Four here. Okay, and then one more, and then we're gonna go to the New Iberia probation and parole officer. It says you failed to make your monthly supervision fees and you are in arrears of $1,143 with the last payment received on 6/13/2024. Played not that. Any statement?
I think that's clear that if there's no record of making payment, Mr. Antoine would make a payment on that.
So that would be guilty?
Mr. Antoine, did you make any payments?
I made a payment right before I came in, but I think I was in arrear like 2 or 3 payments, not $1,100. I don't think I was in arrear $1,100 so.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Mr. Daniels, is there anything else you'd like to say? Because I'm fixing to ask for a comment from the probation, Ms. Woods.
Not at this time, no ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Woods, what would you like to say, ma'am?
Yes, good morning, Board. Anna Woods of Probation and Parole, the New Iberia District. I am Mr. Antoine Supervising Officer. I don't have too much to add that hasn't already been discussed. The only thing I can really say is that I only supervised him for about 7 to 8 months before he became incarcerated again. I am familiar with the area where the pending charges that allegedly occurred in December of 2023 took place. It is in very close proximity to where Mr. Antoine lives. It's pretty much, like right across the street from where he lives. So I did find that interesting. Due to the severity of the pending charges and the fact that probable cause was found at the preliminary hearing, our recommendation is to revoke. He is a 4th felony offender.
Okay. And are you Ms. Woods or?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay, Ms. Woods. Thank you so much. All right. Does anybody have some more questions?
Ms. Woods, the drug test was administered by the jail when he was booked?
Yes, ma'am. When they get arrested and brought to Iberia Parish Jail, they always drug screen them. And then I got that information about the positive drug screen from his initial presentment or confinement order that was provided to the court. So I'm not sure who specifically drug screened him, but that's where I got that information from.
Right, thank you. Any other questions?
I have no questions.
I have no questions. We're prepared to vote?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Chillis.
My vote today is to revoke in light of all of the rule violations 4, 4, 4, 5, 10.
Okay. Ms. Ledoux.
My vote is to revoke. There's multiple violations that I note, and so I find him in violation of parole supervision.
I concur with both of my colleagues. I find you in violation of your parole supervision, and my vote is to revoke also. So that concludes our hearing. And your role has been revoked, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Walker?
Probably call him to get him to
Yeah.
unmute.
Hello, ma'am. Will you please introduce yourself at the facility for our records, please? Staff?
Joseph Walker.
Oh, can you get the staff back in, please?
Deputy Romero.
Okay, at IBERIA Parish Jail, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, now, Mr. Walker, you can introduce yourself with your DOC number, please.
Joseph Walker, 300-260.
Okay, very good. My name is Carolyn Stapleton. I'm on your panel today. And then to my left is Mr. Tillis, and to my right is Ms. Ledoux. We're going to read some information, and you'll have the opportunity to plead guilty or not guilty, and guilty with a statement. And then I want to ask you, do you have the parole revocation questionnaire? It's where you would have made some check marks, questions, and signed at the bottom.
No, ma'am.
They can put it up on the screen for you to see if you recognize it, because I have one that you signed. Yes, sir. Do you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can confirm that's yours, please?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Based upon this questionnaire, you're ineligible for appointed counsel. Did you get one for yourself? Did you retain counsel?
No, ma'am, but if it's okay, can I speak on my behalf?
Yes, sir. That's what this questionnaire is about. You've chosen to speak on your behalf. Yes, sir. That'll be fine. Okay. Your case today is assigned to Mr. Chuck Tillis. He's going to be reading out the violations, and you'll be giving him your statement of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement.
Good morning, Mr. Walker.
Good morning, sir.
I'm gonna read us one of the rule violations, and then whatever you plead, then we'll discuss it rather than just read them and have to read them a second time, if you don't mind. Rule number 4, you failed to refrain from criminal activities when you operated a vehicle while intoxicated, possessed an alcohol beverage in a motor vehicle, and violation traffic laws. Subsequently, you were arrested by the IBERIA Parish Sheriff's Office on July 5th, 2025, and charged with operating a vehicle while intoxicated, possessions of alcohol beverages in the motor vehicle, and traffic control violations. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
You plead guilty?
My trial date, well, not my trial date, my arrangement is scheduled for October the 29th. And they, from what I understand, is 3 misdemeanor. Now, maybe they might eliminate by 2 of them. Would that be, would y'all reconsider that, being more lenient on me? If there was to, eliminate a couple of these charges on me?
That's possible.
Sir?
That's a possibility.
So, can I postpone this hearing until I get the outcome of what's gonna happen at my court hearing?
Well, let us go into executive session, and we're going to discuss these matters. Carolyn Stapleton, yes. I call for.
I second.
Tillis,
Yes.
Stapleton,
Yes.
Ledoux. Yeah.
Okay, we're back into session at this time. The time is at 10:57. And we're ready to vote. Mr. Tillis?
No, we haven't gone through all of them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we're gonna read your conditions. I'm sorry.
You want to explain to them why we're doing that?
Oh, okay. Well, you need to understand that we do not have the same level that, a trial would have. We need to just find out if you violated the terms of your parole, and that can even be a misdemeanor. So if you weren't in on time, if you were drinking and driving, whatever, then you violated the terms of the conditions of your parole, and then we can revoke for that. So our circumstances are different from a trial. So do you understand that? And you did plead guilty at the preliminary hearing. You pled guilty to everything. You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, Mr. Tillis is going to read the remainder.
Okay, on the first one, you said not guilty?
That's before, I was, I pleaded guilty. Okay, I'm guilty, I'm guilty.
Okay, rule violation number 10, you failed to pay supervision fees monthly. You are $348 in supervision fees arrear. How do you plead on that? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Rule number 13, special conditions curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You failed to maintain a curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 p.m. on July 5th, 2025. You were arrested by the IBERIA Parish Sheriff's Office and charged with operating a vehicle while intoxicated, possession of alcohol beverages in a motor vehicle, and traffic control violations. Arrest occurred on or about 11:59 p.m. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or with the statement?
Guilty.
Guilty?
Yeah.
Okay, that's it, huh?
13 special conditions.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Now, rule number 13, special conditions. 4 hours of community service work per month. You also complete 4 hours of community service every month. You only provided proof of community service.
January, February.
Worked for the month of January, February, and May of 2024. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty with the statement?
Guilty, sir. Due to my job, I was working every day. I've been on the same job working at Carmichael's Honey for 4 years without missing one day. And it was kind of hectic, for me to do community service on the weekend. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions? I don't have any questions.
No, sir, I don't have any questions. You pled guilty at the preliminary, you pled guilty here. So you definitely have, to me, revoked your parole. You're in violation. Mrs. Ledoux, do you have any questions? Okay, at this time, we're prepared to vote. Mr. Tillett, what is you?
My vote today is to revoke on the conditions of you pled guilty to all the rule violations.
Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke based on, violating conditions of parole.
And I concur with my colleagues. So today, sir, your parole has been revoked. And we're signing off at 11:01.
That's it?
Hello? Do we have staff in the room?
Toronto Lawrence.
Okay, so today, this is from, Orleans Justice Center. And Mr. Harris, will you introduce yourself, please, with your DOC number?
Yes, ma'am. Alex Harris, 576-127.
Okay, and we've introduced staff and at headquarters. I'm Carolyn Stapleton. This is Chuck Tillis to my left and Jerry Ledoux today to my right, and we'll be on your revocation and parole hearing panel.
Okay, Mr. Harris, before we get started, we have a little problem because you failed to complete the questionnaire that we needed you to complete. It's the Supreme Court guidelines for appointed counsel. Did you see that questionnaire?
What you talking about? You talking about this here?
Yes.
Yes, I never received that, ma'am.
Because you refused to go to the preliminary hearing.
No, the day my parole officer came down to the jail, I was at the dentist. So they gave it to me in a mail call. He never came back to do it again. And then I was sent to DOC.
We have a record that you were not present at your preliminary hearing because you refused to be there. Okay, so let me just go through. You have a retained counsel, Mr. Jones, Mr. Devin Jones. Hello, Mr. Jones. Welcome.
Good afternoon. How y'all doing?
Good. So we're going to say that you don't need the appointed counsel because you have retained counsel. So I'm going to read out the allegations against you, and I'm going to need for you to enter a plea of guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement. Okay. So, Mr. Harris, you have been charged with violating condition number 4 of your parole, in that on or about 11/17/2024, you were engaged in criminal activity when you committed the crime of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, illegal use of weapons and dangerous instrumentalities, and reckless discharge of a firearm at a parade or demonstration, which led to an issuance of an arrest warrant by the New Orleans Police Department 12/7/2024. On 7/22/2025, those charges were null pros, and a continuance was not granted. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
Condition number 5, on or about 11/17/2024, you had in your possession a control, or in possession or control firearm or dangerous weapon when you committed the crime of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. How do you plead to that?
Not guilty.
And number 10, you failed to pay supervision fees in the amount that the department has set, and you are $708 in arrears. How do you plead?
Guilty on the payments, because
Okay, so here, let me explain. In our parole revocation packet, we have been given the entire police report and body cam footage from that arrest. Okay, and we'll be discussing that. But before we discuss that, I want to go to your attorney. Mr. Jones, do you have anything you would like to say?
Well, first off, good afternoon. How y'all doing? I'm always anticipating on speaking, I guess, after you all have answers questions and stuff like that. But if you want me to talk now, I can. It's up to you all.
We can wait.
There's someone.
Yeah. So we do have your friend who would also like to speak. Ms. Tyler.
think.
Yes, Tyler Mattery,
I'm not
would you
sure.
like to speak on his behalf?
Would I like to speak on his behalf?
Tyler Mattery is listed as someone in support, a friend in support, who wished to speak. It's not on this.
Yeah, maybe they're not. I don't know if they made it in, but
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Daniel Dickinson. We also show a Daniel Dixon, who's a friend in support but not speaking. Okay, so Mr. Harris, I read all the police reports, saw all the video cam. Your charges were null pros because the victim or the witness could not be located. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, thanks.
Okay. So, you were at a parade that day?
I can't hear you say it again, ma'am.
You were at a parade on that day?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you were shot?
Yes, I was shot multiple times.
Yes. And you were taken by private vehicle to the hospital?
Yes, ma'am.
There was someone lying beside you that had also received injuries.
Two older ladies, two older female laying beside me.
And a middle-aged person. And one of them indicated, and I have heard the testimony, that she watched you return fire after you were shot. So how do you respond to that allegation?
Well, ma'am, I have you know, that same question you asked me riddled my mind for months back here, because the only reason I was shot because I jumped in front of two older ladies for them not to be shot. And for as her saying I returned fire, when the first bullet hit my hip, it broke my pelvic bone. So I blacked out. A police officer woke me up from blacked out because he thought I died. So far as the female saying I returned fire, I don't know how, because I went straight to the hospital. And as soon as I make it to the hospital, by me knowing I'm on parole, I give the police officers my arm. I said, check me for gun residue now. Before we go either further with the situation, check me for gun residue because I'm on parole. I told the police I was on parole. So as soon as I made it to the hospital, they checked me for gun residue.
I watched the video of you coming into the hospital, and I didn't see any of that in the video cam, okay?
Yes.
I saw the officer discuss your injuries, which never did they say you broke your pelvic bone. You were shot in the back end and a leg, and you helped walk into the hospital, ambulated yourself.
No, ma'am. Someone carried me on their shoulder in the hospital, and they put me on the stretcher as soon as I made it in the hospital.
Next question.
Huh?
Next question.
Yeah.
You said you stepped in front of the elderly ladies to keep them from getting shot.
Yes, because they were stutter. So I'm trying to like move them from the crowd, because the crowd was running toward the older ladies, and I moved the older ladies from the crowd. So that's how I was shot. The first shot hit me in my hip. That would broke my pelvis bone. I got hit in my hip twice and in my buttocks once. I broke my pelvis bone and I broke my femur bone.
Was someone shooting at you?
No, sir. I don't know. It was a stampede. I don't know where the shots were coming from, but no one was shooting at me.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So the witness picked you out of a lineup 2 different times with 2 different images. Okay? I watched her pick you out of the lineup. So you've been in since December of 2024, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was null crossed in
Believe it was July 11th.
July. Yeah, July 22nd.
22nd, sorry, I got the numbers wrong.
Okay. You're currently on supervision for a firearm arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a very serious allegation. And I have witness testimony that I have seen. Okay. Do either of my colleagues have any other questions?
Was there a gun produced at the scene?
No, sir.
So you didn't have a gun?
No, sir.
No, I have no question.
Would the attorney please now take this time to address the panel?
Yes, ma'am. So, I mean, I hope you all, I apologize first of all for sending my mitigation packet late to you all. Usually I try to send it a lot earlier, but I was in trial this week. That's not your fault. If y'all had a chance to read it, that's great. But a lot of things you need to know about Alex is, first and foremost, like he grows up in New Orleans, Louisiana. Not saying that New Orleans is a bad place because I grew up in the same place, but nonetheless, when he's 24 years old, he pleads to, like you said, a gun violation where he is sentenced to 20 years and he does 6 years in jail, 6 and I think about a quarter. And immediately as he's transferred to the halfway house, he starts to save his money working on a tugboat. He uses his support to assure that he won't be put back in this situation, right? And so what happens is he creates his own trucking company. As I think I attached his LLC. The only thing that says is not like a functioning LLC is because he hasn't been able to renew his annual fees because he's been incarcerated. But nonetheless, he starts his own LLC, Organized Trucking, where he purchases with his money and help of his family 3 18-wheelers. He purchases those 3 18-wheelers. He hires 2 drivers, and then he enters into school himself to have a commercial license. And while all of this is happening, it's been 2 years, and he literally has the birth of his second son. And if you see in the mitigation packet, what you see is his first son was a stillborn, and that really took a toll on him. And so, like, a little bit about my background was I was a psychology major, and what I learned in my experience, and I know I'm a real young guy, but what I learned is that a lot of times certain traumatic incidences kind of make a switch in people. And that late 2020, early 2021, when he lost his first son, like from talking from Alex, I can tell that it made that switch for him. And from there, he vowed to make sure that he was going to be a present and supportive father for any of the other kids that he had. And he had Alex with 2 exes because he didn't want to not acknowledge his first son, which is a junior. So he's out of jail. It's 2 years while he's been out of jail. And this is not a situation. It's like, I understand the pause from you all because he has a gun conviction and you don't want to even hear about him being around guns or being alleged to have had a gun, right? But this isn't a situation where they're alleging like, oh, I saw him do a hand-to-hand transaction, he had a gun on him. Or like, I pulled him over in the car, he has a gun in the car. Or anything to that matter. Like, he's literally, he's a patron of New Orleans, he's a citizen of New Orleans, and he goes to a parade. And if you saw the body cam and maybe even the surveillance footage, is it Miss Day? I caught the last part of it. It's Miss Day on the with the blue jacket. I'm sorry.
I'm Miss LeDoux.
LeDoux, sorry. I'm so sorry. I was trying to write and talk at the same time.
Can't see my...
What you see is that it's like a crowded area, right? And so he's not the only victim in this case. There was 12 other people, well, 11 other people who were shot. One of the young ladies that was next to him, and 10 other people that some of them weren't even in the same space as him, right? And so what happens is, as a part of the investigation, is all of them get brought to UMC. he does go by personal conveyance. And then when he gets there, so a lot of times what you see is if you ever had an officer as a friend, like when they go to UMC, they don't allow them to have a lot of body cam in there. So when they do have body cam in there, it's like an exceptional circumstance. But if you even go and watch his statement, you'll see him tell the detective, like, I told them to check me for gunshot residue because I don't want to be a part of this whatsoever. And they didn't check him for gunshot residue. And so he gets the warrant put out for him after they've run his background, and the officer has no leads. They have no leads on who was the initial person who shoots. And what they do is they say, well, who are they shooting at? Let's look into these backgrounds of these victims and see who they were shooting at. And they come upon Mr. Harris. And when they come upon Mr. Harris, they see his lengthy background or the background that he has. And they're like, well, maybe they were shooting at him. So let's question him, right? And if you watch his statement, every time I talk to Mr. Harris, it's just kind of the same thing. Like he's very passionate about talking about the fact that he had nothing to do with this. And he did not have a gun. And the truth of the matter is it's not on him to prove that, but in front of you all, obviously, like he's pretty much on his knees telling you all like he really did not have a gun, right? And we're in New Orleans where we try cases every day, day in and day out. And so when you look at the record that I sent, and the reason why I sent the record as opposed to just saying that it was dismissed is I wanted you all to see that it was reset multiple times. We waived motions. So usually cases don't go to trial in 7 months. They never go to trial in 7 months. It takes 2-3 years for cases to go to trial because we're so backlogged. We were pushing this trial because of his innocence. And it was reset trial after trial after trial for that same issue. The fact that they could not get this witness to come on the stand and point him out and say that she shot him. And it's indicated when you look at the full police report. Because when you look at the identification procedure, what she says is it's possible that it's him. She says it's possible that it's him if he had dread style hair or like twist style hair. And if you're able to see, so anytime you do a 6-pack lineup, what they do is they say, okay, pick the person. When you pick the person, I want you to tell me, like, in your words, how do you identify this person? She says, it's possible. She says, it's possible that it's him if he had dread style hair and stuff like that. And the officer notes that that picture was from an old time and that this was from, I guess, from the time he would have had those type of twists. But she's also making that, like, you have to test the veracity of her statement. She's making this statement literally when she's saying that she has just been shot and he is the one who was probably on top of her, covering her up. And so those questions were things that were going to be asked in the trial, and those things were going to be tested in trial to see whether or not a jury would agree. And we couldn't get there. We stayed all day, picked through 2 juries, I think about 50 people, for the state to concede the fact that they can't prove this case against this young man. And I'm not here to say that, oh, don't make a decision based off of the fact that they can't do their job. I'm here to tell you that, like, this man really did not have a firearm. Like, I wasn't there, but every conversation I've ever had with him, that's his statement, and that's what he stands on. And so we're here today asking for your mercy because he was out for 2 years. There was no other violation. It wasn't that he wasn't showing up to his probation officer. It wasn't that they were going to his house and found a gun and smell weed and all that type of stuff. Like, he's trying his best to be a loving and trying father. And he literally, the worst decision he made that day was to go to a parade. And we can penalize him for saying he went to a parade. Maybe he should have just stayed inside or been at work. But I mean, he literally just went to a parade and was one of 12 victims who was shot. And so, and I'm sorry, I know I'm talking for too long. I know that, again, he's picked out of the lineup, but when he's picked out of the lineup, it's a possibility, which is enough for probable cause, right? But then when you get to the court system, the state is held to a higher burden when taking someone's liberty away. And the truth is that their higher burden is beyond a reasonable doubt. And so they knew at the conclusion of us picking that jury that they was not going to meet that, whether they had that young lady or not, to be honest with you. And these are conversations that I've had with the state. And if they wanted, like, think about it, if they didn't have her then, right? They have the power, because they dismissed the case, to reinstitute the case, right? We're in September. That happened in July. There's August. And now we're in September. They have all the resources in the world to find that young lady and try this case. But because of whatever reason, I would say because they know, one, that she probably doesn't want to participate because they reset it 3 different times. And two, that even if she gets on the stand, her credibility still has to stand intact. Not saying she has a reason to lie whatsoever, but think about it. When you're in a traumatic incident, like, a lot of things are happening. And I'm not to say that that young lady was a teacher. So I'm sure she's never been in a situation where she's been shot at and a lot of things are moving around. And the last face that she remembers is the one that she picks out. And so that's questionable. And then do we necessarily want to send a man back to jail for 10 plus years, to take him away from his second son for 10 plus years off of a questionability? And again, that's not my choice. It's just something I want to bring to light to you all, and to show that even if you remove that to the side, like, this is like, it's a good man. Like, he has a history. Yes, he's done his time for that history. And this time when he was out, he was doing everything he could to stay out of trouble and to be profitable in this community. It wasn't that he was just working here, working there. Like, he started his own business. I just started my own business. And
You've done a very good job of eliminating.
sorry. I'll say this. You were the second person who told me to be quiet today. So I'm just talkative today. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
You've made your point. Y'all have any questions?
I'd like to go into executive session.
I second.
Ledoux,
Yes.
Singleton,
Yes.
Tillis.
Yeah.
Devin Jones, everyone to fill it.
What's his name? Wonderful.
Devin Jones, if you work with Philip.
Okay, we're back in session now, and the time is 11:35. And we are prepared to vote at this time. Ms. Ledoux, would you like to, cast your vote, please?
Yes. And I appreciate Mr. Jones pointing out the level of, that we have to reach in terms of what is acceptable evidence. I have watched the body cam. My vote today is to revoke you based on, the evidence that I reviewed, that you were identified as a shooter in the situation. That's my vote.
Okay, Mr. Tillis.
My vote today is do not revoke.
And my vote today is do not revoke. And I wish you well with the rest of your life. I'd like to say that.
Appreciate you guys.
And so, based upon 2 votes, to not revoke and 1 to revoke, you have not been revoked today.
I appreciate you guys.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. All right, Alex.
Don't forget where you come from.
Good afternoon, Mr. Howard. I'm sorry, Mr. Jacks. Is there a supervisor in there or somebody from the Orleans Detention Center?
Yes, ma'am.
Deputy Earl Brown.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Mr. Jacks, will you give your name and your DOC number for the record, please?
Howard Jack 6000025.
Okay. You're at Orleans Justice Center and we're at headquarters. And my name is Carolyn Stapleton. I'm on your panel today. And then Mr. Chuck Tillis and Miss Jerry Ledoux. They're going to read some information into the record about you, and you will say guilty or not guilty, or guilty with a statement. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Ledoux.
Mr. Jacks, before we get started, do you have a questionnaire in front of you that indicates some answers that you submitted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the answers to that indicate you're not eligible for appointed counsel. Have you hired an attorney?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to read the allegations into the file, and then you're going to answer by guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Violation to condition number 4. On 6/27/2025, you were arrested by probation and parole for an outstanding warrant out of New Orleans Police Department for the charge of battery of a dating partner. This charge stems from an incident that occurred 10/14/2024. On 7/24/2025, the pending charge was refused by the Orleans magistrate. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
We also show that you are in violation of number 10, in that you're in arrears of $1,552, with your last payment being made December 10th, 2024. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
So do you have proof that you paid since then?
The day that I was arrested, the day that I went to see my parole officer, I made a payment in the machine. And my family member also made a payment in that same month for me. And the only reason I had went into the rear, I had a major surgery on my spine, and I had to get my disc replaced in August of 2024. So, and I couldn't work for an extended period of time. So that's how I got behind on my fines and fees.
Okay. So I understand that. The victim in this case, Vernesha Nellon, what is your relationship with her?
She's my son's mother.
Okay. At the time of this allegation, were you living together?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You have a previous issue that happened October 8th of 2024. You had a theft charge that's never been adjudicated. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's still an outstanding that has not been dealt with?
No, ma'am. Every time we go to court, they just set it back.
Okay. So this incident occurred in October, and you were not detained until June 27th, 2025. So you've only been in since June, right? I say, oh, that's not correct. But, huh?
Yes, I've been incarcerated since June 27th.
And
It occurred 10/14.
it occurred 10. Warrant was issued 11 of June. Okay. So what happened? The So she called the police. She called the police and said you were beating her and she wanted the police to come.
Yes, ma'am. But in actuality, we had relationship issues, and I had got caught cheating. And on the day in question, she was asking me about it, and I broke the news to her that I had another child on the way, and she just became emotional, and I left after that. Like after she became emotional and stuff, like the conversation ended, I left, and I didn't know nothing about the police being called or anything. Like, I had been checking in with my parole officer and stuff every month, still going to work and everything. And then just one day out the blue, she asked me to come into the office and broke the news to me that I had a pending charge of battery.
So when the police went to her location, when they were called, they noted that she had a contusion, which is a bruise and a bump on her forehead, a bruise on the inside of her right arm. And she was asked, do you think that he will seriously injure or kill you or your children? And she said, well, he injured me today, so yeah. How frequently does he intimidate, threaten, or assault you? And she said, every day. Describe a time when you were most frightened or injured by him. And she said, just now. So it seems like there's evidence that she's saying there's evidence that you physically hit her about 15 times with a closed fist.
No, ma'am. I never, after we had the conversation, I left her, and I hadn't seen her no more and for an extended period of time. And she never even informed me that she called the police. So I can't attest to, no injuries or nothing that she said that she had, but I never touched her, never laid hands on her and stuff. We just had a verbal conversation about our relationship, about the whole thing with me cheating and stuff like that. And then she came back and she had let my parole officer know that, and nothing had happened, that all we did was have a verbal conversation and she was upset at the time and stuff.
So she called the police on the 15th and said that it happened the night before. Did y'all go get in a vehicle and go down the street and she grabbed the keys out of the vehicle and ran off?
Yes, ma'am.
So that happened at this time that you're talking about, this incident?
Yes, ma'am.
Wasn't just verbal. Y'all grabbed the keys, ran down, you had to go get your keys?
No, I didn't even go and try to retrieve my keys because I already kind of know like how the situation is, and her emotion was high. I had my vehicle towed that night.
You had your vehicle towed versus going and getting your keys?
Yes, ma'am, because I was trying to avoid the situation.
Then she said you came back and with tampering with her gas tank.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And that's what this is about. These the violations that you're facing.
I understand. And a lot of those statements, I believe, came from just an emotional standpoint, from me ending the relationship with her, and from me,
a lot of those statements didn't come from me. I never said.
Ma'am, we haven't called on you yet.
They muted her.
Okay. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead and hear from your aunt, Ms. Angela Veal.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Sam,
Mm-hmm.
you can. What
We can
would you
hear
like
you.
to say?
Oh, hi. Thank you for the opportunity. I prepared a statement that I would like to read. And it just states, to the respective hearing, thank you for the opportunity to share my point of view on the behalf of my nephew, Howard Jacks. I'm Howard's paternal aunt, Angela. It is my sincerest hope that my rendered offering will share some insight on the young man who sits before you on today. Our family had the privilege to raise Howard from the age from 2 to 11. He left to live with his maternal grandmother and his mother. Howard's journey has not been an easy one. Both both of Howard's parents were incarcerated during his informative years. He never received the love and nurturing and guidance from them. Our family hoped to fulfill that void in his life, but nothing replaces the desire for love and being affirmed by your own parents. I'm sure Howard is haunted daily with the question, why wasn't I good enough, as he watched his own parents go on to raise other children. Howard, not possessing the accurate tools and resources to properly usher him into manhood, he was left to his own devices, which landed him into a generational curse of incarceration. I've watched Howard and encouraged him as he strives daily to become a better person. He works diligently on being an active and present parent in his kid's life. In lieu of his past transgressions, Howard understood that securing employment would not be without its own challenges. Nonetheless, he persevered and secured employment. It is my belief that Howard has endured less favorable relationship conditions for the sake of being a present figure in his children's life. I've maintained an open communication between us so he can vent and talk through his feelings. On one occasion, I noticed that he looked burdened down and he fought back the tears while I poured into him and told him that this too should pass. On the next day, he texted me, expressing to me what he could not say the previous days. Howard is very smart and a capable young man who survived in the world the best he knows how. He has support and love from this family. Again, thank you for the opportunity to share on my own perspective. And if I can be of any further assistance, just let me know.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Jacks, what kind of employment did you have?
I was working at Avondale Shipyard. It's currently named Host now, Host Terminals.
Right, and you hope to, would you be able to return to that job?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Miss Nellen, she can speak now.
Yes, ma'am.
What would you like to say, please?
I wanted to say that in the event of October the 14th, we had a verbal disagreement where it never turned physical. I've never known Howard to being a violent person. He's never been physical with me. He's very active when it comes to parenting to my children and his other kids. Um, but I really like um I never said that I was afraid of him. I never said that hit me 15 times with a closed hand fist. I never said that me or my children were afraid of him or he beat me every other day or whatever was that. I never said that.
Miss Nellen. Hello?
Yes.
How did it get reported that he hit you 15 times? I mean, did you take the keys from his car?
Yes, I did.
So how did it get reported that he hit you 15 times? And I think our records show that you said you were afraid of him.
I'm not afraid of him. I've never been afraid of him. I have no reason to be afraid of him. I never said I was afraid of him. But in that situation, all of that took place on one occasion. It wasn't a night before and then the next day. It all took place all at one time.
Okay, so he never hit you.
He never hit me.
So are you guys have community, I guess you have a child together, so you guys see each other often?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what were you upset about?
Because he cheated on me. And not only did he cheat on me, but he made an outside baby on me. So that bothered me. That
And
hurt me.
you guys were living together or?
No, we wasn't residing together. He just, we just was co-parenting. And at the time when he brought it to me, I had just lost my grandmother. So my emotions were already like, so just to receive some news like that just makes me out.
And you didn't report that that he beat you?
Wait, say that again?
And you didn't report to the police that he beat you?
I called the police, but he never put his hands on me.
That's fine. So let me ask you something. Being a former police officer myself, and also dealing with domestic violence, you're saying that you called the police, what, to have a nice day? Or did you tell them you were getting beat on? Why would they have showed up at your house? They've got better things to do. What did you say that caused the police to come to your house and what would it usually is to come to protect you? What did you say?
I told the police that I told them that we had a verbal a verbal altercation, which led to a physical altercation because I was upset. Like,
So they did not lie.
no,
You
what
said
they
that
lied
led to
about,
you
what they
said
li-
it was
go
a
ahead.
physical altercation also.
Yeah, that's what I told them.
Okay.
But that's not what happened.
So
And
let me ask
at the
you.
time, I was not mentally stable. I was not on my medication. I was not being seen by nobody. I was dealing with postpartum. I just lost a daughter. I was dealing with the grief of my grandmother. So it's a lot of different things. Come on.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say that they did see evidence of contusion on your forehead and a small bruise on the inside of your right arm, which they made
Come on.
put in their affidavit, which is their police report. And then later, when you go into the office and you're talking to the PNP officer, um, she brings up the fact that you said that you told the police that you were punched 15 times with a closed fist. And then you say that you got those injuries from stumbling down the stairs that night.
That's what happened. But it happened prior to me and him getting into the altercation. See, that's
Okay,
what
we're going
bothered
to do
me. The
right now,
fact
time out, just a minute. We're going to go into executive session and discuss confidential matters.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Davidson,
Yes, I'll second.
Tillis.
Yes.
Yeah. We're back in session now, and the time is 12:07.
So, Mr. Jacks, I'm ready to vote. And my vote is not to revoke you.
Thank
You have a very believable story that there was no violence that occurred. But I am going to place a stipulation, it's just my vote, but my stipulation would be that you have no contact with Bernicia Nellon, and when you have to exchange children for any reason, that you have a third party involved.
Yes, ma'am.
You have an aunt, you have, go to the police station if y'all were exchanging children, but no contact with your victim in this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
My vote is also the same as Ms. Ledoux, is to do not revoke.
Thank you.
Mine's the same, and I'm gonna reiterate what Ms. Ledoux said. You are to have no contact with this lady, your victim, which she claims to be your victim, Ms. Nellon. And then when you exchange the baby, you are to do it in an environment that is a safe environment. Maybe your aunt would be the go-between. Maybe she doesn't want to get involved in it. Other than that, you could ask the police station. You could ask the domestic violence shelter, if that's a place where y'all can make an exchange. But police station would be where you could start, and they may can give you information, because that could start up another thing, and it could lead to bad results, because you were to have no contact with this woman.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's going to be a condition of your probation. So at this time, we did not revoke you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This is Mr. Brazil, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, staff in the room at Orleans Justice Center, will you please introduce yourself? Is there anybody?
Miss Lawrence.
Miss Lawrence, okay, thank you. Okay, now, Mr. Brazil, will you please state your name and your DOC number for the record, please?
Darrell Brazile, 579912.
Okay, today we are, the panel is at DOC headquarters downtown, and my name is Carolyn Stapleton. This is Ms. Ledoux, and this is Mr. Chuck Tillis, and we're on the panel today, and we will be asking some questions. First, I want to know, did you get a questionnaire that you have in front of you that asks you some questions, whether or not you want to count them or anything
Yes.
like that?
I talked to my lawyer this morning. She said she's gonna be asking for the deal.
So you gotta say that again. I didn't hear you.
I said I talked to my lawyer this morning. She said she wasn't gonna be able to make it to my hearing today.
All right. All
You're
right.
speaking on your behalf?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, so he's gonna speak on his own behalf. Okay.
Okay, so you do want to speak on your own behalf?
I wouldn't mind, but she have stuff that I need to show y'all or whatever like that.
Do you want to continue
Yes, ma'am.
until your attorney can be there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what you would rather do?
Do you have a retained attorney? You've paid her.
No, it's a public defender.
You're not eligible for an appointed counsel.
Yeah, that's what I would see when my parole officer came. That's what I was trying to tell him. I want somebody to represent, for me instead of myself. But I could talk for myself.
Okay.
All right, so you can talk for yourself. You decided to talk for yourself. Okay, we're going to proceed forward today then. All right, so today, Ms. Ledoux will be questioning you, and you will answer guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement.
Okay, Mr. Brazile, you've been charged with violating condition number 2. The last in-person contact with the subject was on 11/24/2024. The last contact by telephone was April of 2025. The subject was instructed to report to the district office April 25th, 2025. You did not report. Additionally, the subject did not provide updates for the months of December 24, January through March of 2025, and May through June of 2025. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Guilty. Okay. Number 3, multiple attempts.
I was trying to make you hear me. I was saying not guilty.
Okay. If you'll speak loudly and sit still, and what did you say? You pled not guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Not guilty. Okay. Thank you. Number 3, multiple attempts were made to make contact with the subject at 7719 Tricia Court, New Orleans, with no success. On 7/7/2025, subject's sister answered the door at that address, Tricia's court, and told the PMP officer that the subject lived at the address when he wanted to. Then on 7/8/2025, an unidentified black male answered the door at 7719 Tricia Court and told the PMP agent that no one by the name of Darrell Brazile lived there. As such, the subject is not living at the address he provided and has moved to another address without permission. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Number 4, the subject is in non-compliance with sex offender registration and notification. The subject provided an address to the New Orleans Police Department Sex Offender Registration Office that he is not actually living at. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Number 9, multiple attempts were made to make contact with the subject at 7719 Trisham Court with no success. And as I said before, the sister said that you lived there when you wanted to, and then another time a black male said that you do not live there. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
And number 10, you are currently $882 in arrears on your supervision fees.
Guilty on that. I ain't got any money. No, guilty.
Guilty. Mr. Brazil, at night, where did you lay your head? I'm not talking about where your stuff was stored. I'm not talking about what address you got your mail at. Where'd you put your head at night?
At 77, the address that you pronounced, Sister Court, that's my sister address.
Every night.
That's mine.
So your sister's lying.
No,
And-
she I don't know. He misinterpreted what my sister said, because my sister went down there and talked to my parole officer and his supervisor and told them that I stayed there, and she did not say that. And she was gonna come on Zoom this morning, but my lawyer was gonna have her come on Zoom this morning to make a statement. But she said she wasn't gonna be able to make it to me. But I stayed at the address what that's on paper.
Okay. Your probation and parole officer makes a note every time she has an interaction or he has an interaction with you. It's part of the standard procedure. Every time that they try to contact you at your home, it's noted how many times that they could not find you at your place.
Yeah, because I'll be at work.
Pardon me?
I'll be at work. Like they come like he come like 3, 4 in the evening, like I'll be at work. And my sister told him that. And I gave him my supervisor number, and he had my number. He never contacted me or called me, like not one time. I didn't even know I had a new parole officer.
You didn't know you had what?
I didn't even know I had a new parole officer. I was Mr. Mike Reese was my parole officer. He just Mr. Rowd, I just met him. Like I didn't even know I had a new parole officer.
Well,
But he never.
part of the problem is because you weren't reporting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like my old parole officer.
Know who your parole officer is.
Yeah, the last time I talked to Mr. Mike Reese was in April, and I just got Mr. Rowder, Mr. James Rowder in like June. I think June. I just got him. So he never contacted me and let me know he was my new parole officer. When he came to the house, I was gonna go see him, but
this issue goes back before that time.
Yeah.
The not working and everything.
Yeah, he never called me to let me know he was my new parole officer, nothing like that. He came to the house, but he didn't even call. And my sister had all that on video. You see what I'm saying? Like you ain't even leave a contact card for me to even call you. Or to get my information so I could call you. But you never even contact me either. Like you never contact me, never called me, nothing.
Not on your parole officer, I'm sorry. You're a 5th felony offender, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times have you been on probation, parole?
This would be my 2nd time, I think. 2nd and 3rd time.
Yeah. Okay. You know the rules. Go ahead.
You do know it's your responsibility to get in touch with your parole officer, and especially if he comes by your house and your sister say he came by here, you need to call him and get in touch with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have a car, and I was gonna go see him on the 14th. He came on the 7th, and I was gonna go see him on the 14th when I went to go see Mr. Henry now. To go pay my fee, and he took me to jail. So I ain't really had time to go see him.
So
I was working do that throughout that week.
Yeah, what's the best thing to do? If he comes by on the 7th and you're gonna go on the 14th, I would get in touch with him on the 8th. As soon as you get in touch with your officer, you'll have less headaches.
Yeah, see, I'm saying I knew my parole officer. He a new parole officer, so I ain't have his number, and he ain't even called. That's what I'm saying. Like he ain't even called, so I was gonna go up there and see him on the 14th.
but I wound up coming to jail because they told me I had a parole violation. I was going to see Mr. Henry at the section for the headquarters to finish paying for my postcard, and I come to jail. So I met him in jail. Like I just met him in jail. Like I just met him. I was on December 14th, but I ain't have time.
Thank you. Thank you. I have no more questions.
I have no. Are we prepared to vote? Okay. Okay, at this time, we're gonna vote. Ms. Ledoux has your case, so she'll be voting first.
Based on the preponderance of evidence, and there's quite a bit, you have been untruthful with your parole officer, not responding to, not reporting appropriately, and the New Orleans Police Department does not have a correct address for you to be registered as a sex offender. My vote is.
I have the paper. I have paperwork right here that.
Okay, so Mr. Tillis.
My vote is to revoke also. I concur with Ms. Ledoux.
And I concur with Ms. Ledoux, and that concludes our hearing at 1228 at Orleans.